Hide from User is now the recommended quarantine mode for Microsoft 365 integrations with Cloud Threat Response. In this video, you'll learn how it works and the benefits it provides for both security teams and end users. For the latest configuration steps and screenshots, check out the Proofpoint Community article linked in the description below.
So now let's actually spend time talking about each of these in some detail. Let's start with hide mode. So why did we build this, and what benefit does it give? If we go back a few years, because I'm sure all of you have been using Trap for a while, the way the quarantine process works, when we know that a message has to be removed from the user's mailbox, we actually forwarded it to the quarantine mailbox, which is a pre-configured mailbox in Trap. That's a shared mailbox, which means most of the SOC team has access to it, but the email is forwarded there. So it looks like it was forwarded from, say, Vivek to quarantine. And now the message in Vivek's mailbox is completely deleted. It's hard deleted. If this turned out to be a false positive, the restoration process or the undo process would involve forwarding the message back from quarantine to Vivek. And now when I open that message, to me, it looks like the message was sent by quarantine. And the timestamp on that message would be maybe just a few minutes ago, if not the original date and time the email was sent. And there would be other formatting changes in the email and the subject line and so on and so forth. So this is not ideal, because you yourself as customers have told us this, because you can't get the original message anymore right after it was quarantined. Also, because these actions are performed via APIs, they were just prone to higher rates of throttling by Microsoft, and it would just lead to more occasional failures with these quarantines and restores. So what the hide mode does is it solves this by changing the notion of quarantine. We are no longer using that quarantine mailbox at all. Instead, we hide the message while it is still in the user's mailbox. So if the message was condemned when it was sitting in my mailbox, it's moved into a location where I, as the end user, cannot see the message at all. I cannot search for it. I cannot open it. So it's completely out of my purview. In fact, even administrative tools from Microsoft cannot go and open that message. Just because you are a Microsoft admin, it's not like you could go into some tool and try to find my message and open it. It's only accessible programmatically because we've put it in a location where we know where it is. And of course, that can also be triggered via some of the APIs that I spoke about earlier. The benefit that this gives is the message is retained in its original format, because it's like moving a message from one folder to the other in the same mailbox. So that way, if it had to be returned back to the end user when it was a false positive, the message remains in its original state and form. If the message had to be downloaded by SOC for further forensic analysis, it is also, again, in its pristine original form. It's also just much faster in terms of API calls with Microsoft. It's much more immune to failures or throttling and so on. So it's been a resounding success. We actually went ahead and made sure almost all of our customers using CTR with O365 are using the hide mode now. It's no longer in beta. It is fully available now. It's been there for a while, and I would definitely encourage you to try this out as you move into CTR. This is also key to a first-class experience in Workbench, because there are capabilities in Workbench which rely on being able to look at the message, and the hide mode enables that.